5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to LMC Cast for March, I guess. Very close to Easter here, and today we've decided to settle down with a nice game of Cluedo, or Clue if you're American for some reason. And
vowels.
Yeah, and I'm joined by Mr. Venato.
Hello.
The Random Genius.
It was Shadow Fox in the library room with the wrench.
He
Also
tried
high.
to frame Vija.
Who knows? Who knows in this game?
We also do have a Vija, who also known as Emperor V at the moment in our lobby.
Who dare steal my wrench?
Also, good evening.
And a Shadow Fox.
Ahoy, hoy, and I think if you'll remember correctly, I made that wrench.
That you did.
It's true.
That you did.
The more you know.
So, we are playing a digitized version of Cluedo, and Mr. Random Genius, since you're the one technically hosting, would you like to explain?
Of course. Well, as you all know, Clue or Cluedo is the standard deduction mystery game where you go around a big house and try and make deductions. For this digital app, pretty much going to do the same thing. Only that we all have our own version of the game on our phones, and basically we're all streaming off a main game, and it's all sort of done remotely. It's all fairly nice and simple.
It'd be very hard to stream peak when, we're all in different households.
Just a bit.
And
Yeah.
for one person, a different country.
Yeah. Just a shame about no X-ray glasses.
They're
That-
great computer glasses.
And so, character-wise, I am a variation of Professor Plum, who seems to have gone to the Wario school of dressing and looking.
Yeah.
Yes, I may have got the special edition version of the game, which has not only just has all of the 6 main characters as in the standard game, but they have a vast number of variations of character styles based on different boards and such. So you'll hear some interesting variations of the traditional 6 characters here. So that is Urtheart. Mr. Venato, who are you playing as today?
I'm playing as Moriarty, the Sherlock series. So this could be
Looking very much
fun.
like a Victorian emo.
Complete with skull-headed cane.
Of course.
Well, I'll be playing as Colonel Mustard. Only my variation isn't a colonel, he's a snowboarder.
Look, what Colonel Mustard does in his free times is up to him.
True. So, snowboarding Mustard is what I am at the minute.
Well, I'd be playing a Reverend Green, and I've just decided he's to be Irish.
Because
And I apologise to all the Irish listening to this.
We
we
recently had St. Patrick's Day, so...
yeah, we had some baddies, so it's thematically appropriate.
Aye.
And I have chosen white, which I'm looking more like a Storm from X-Men at the moment, sort of in the looks. But I also get a doggo, so added bonus.
Indeed.
John is happy.
Well, we have our 5 players. We're heading off to the mansion to try and find out who killed Mr. Body / Dr. Black / whoever it is in this game. as mentioned before, if you've not played Clue or Cluedo before, this is a logic puzzle type game. Basically, every player gets a set number of cards in their hand. They tell you what is not the scenario behind the murder. You need to find out who the suspect is, what the weapon is, and which room the murder took place. So everyone has different cards and has different knowledge of the layout of what's going on. And would you look at that, I'm starting. So basically what we do is we take turns moving around the mansion, going into different rooms and making accusations. If we can actually roll far enough. I have rolled a 3. This cannot get me to any room.
Where do you start? Oh, you start in the
middle.
center.
In the centre.
Centre, yeah.
Yeah.
You can at
We
least
all
go
begin
towards where you
as
want
second.
to.
Yes, true. So basically when you go into a room, that room is locked. So you can then choose a suspect and a weapon and you make a suggestion. Tharsus rolled a 7, so that gets him into one of the rooms.
That gets you all the way to one of them, yeah.
All but
Other
one.
than-
though.
Except for the
than-
conservatory. Can't go
Oh.
there.
That's interesting.
It's
Why
because
not
it's,
one?
it's slightly higher away from the.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
one. It's
Kitchen.
one.
One off.
All right, well, let's go to the kitchen. Now, you have
So-
to accuse the person in the room you're in.
No, you pick someone and they teleport to that room.
Oh, I see.
So you could just.
But
grab
it
one
has
away.
to be in the room you land in, is what I mean. Sorry.
It has to be in the room in the lantern. So you can pick any suspect and any weapon, but the location you're saying is the kitchen.
I'm
So-
suggesting Colonel Mustard with a candlestick in the kitchen.
At this point, we go around the different players and they look at their cards. If one of the items in that trio of cards that was suggested is in their hand, they show it to that person. If not, it moves on to the next person and next person round. And basically this carries on until someone's ready to make a final accusation. This happens at the end of someone's turn, and basically they make the accusation, say it was this person with this weapon in this location, and then they look at the cards. If they are right, they win the game. If they are wrong, they are eliminated. They take no further part in moving around the board and making accusations, but they can still show their cards to people if the need arises.
Rolled an 8. John's even rolled an 8.
That should be
Yeah,
a
yes, everywhere.
Into any. So let's have a look. Ooh, library's always a good place.
Also, I believe me and Shadowfox have started with less cards, so you say we're at a disadvantage.
Got 3.
Um,
3 cards.
Maybe.
It's basically, it's due to the fact that we are playing with 5 players, and there's
Yeah.
not an equal split of cards for 5 players. So
No,
it's
yeah.
a little off for some people, but it makes dough.
Depends what you get in your hand.
Reverend Green with a candlestick in the library.
Yes. And what's interesting about this game is the fact that each of the individual characters you play as have their own little animations for doing the murder, as it were. And
Void.
Murder.
each character has their own different variations, and I'm pretty certain you'll like what White's variation is on this one.
It's like first time playing a lot
I
on
roll
the
6.
confused as hell.
You know what? Let's go to the hall. I suggest it is John's character with the rope.
This is white.
White rope whore.
So yeah, see, even the dog gets involved in the little promo photos.
No, John, what have you done? You made a murder out of the dog.
Remember to hit the continue button at the top of the screen when you're finished.
Everyone has to do that, not just the.
Everyone has to do that, yes. It's because we're doing this remotely, the game needs to know when everyone's ready to move on to the next round.
And also, you can potentially glean clues from what other people ask.
Hmm
Ooh,
Ooh.
I'm not getting anywhere. Oh, no way.
No, you're still in the
Because
library.
Library.
I
Because
dragged
you
you
got
into the
dragged
library.
Hmm.
So,
Well, okay.
there. Mr. Phil, what do you suggest?
To suggest. I am going to suggest it was Scarlet with the lead pipe in the library.
Ooh.
because we're missing a 6th player, the game has just randomly given us Scarlet as the 6th person.
oh yeah.
Also in Fetching Snowware.
Yes.
Apparently they were Mustard and Scarlet came back together from their vacation.
And now
Mr. Mustard.
it's now back to me.
It gives you a few options.
True. I'm going to go to the dining room.
The dining.
Who Jack Hughes?
I'm going to accuse Moriarty with the candlestick in the dining room.
Oh, how dare you.
Or suggest, I should say, not accuse, because that's something else. Interesting.
So what is it? So on the screen, as you got question marks, tick marks.
Yes. So we're playing this on the official app of the game. sort of side app. And basically, we have a little sheet that tells us what the current state of play is for that we know of. So we basically mark down what cards we know of, which cards we don't know. We definitely don't know which person has. And we also have little tidbits such as we could mark down who revealed certain cards and certain guesses. We could do some deductions based on that. It's all very sort of self-contained and pretty detailed, and can do all sorts of checks and such. It's quite a nice companion app, and it is free. You just need to have someone who actually owns the game in order to actually play it remotely, such as this.
Suggest Moriarty with the candlestick in the ballroom. Ah.
That Moriarty card is being dragged about.
Yeah, well, okay.
So what does the tick, the question mark, and the X mean? A question mark, I'm assuming, is because it's Earth's turn, so he's questioning.
Yes. Tick means that the person has a card that has been suggested. Cross means that the person doesn't have a card, and that was suggested. So, for example, yourself, John, we know that you don't have Moriarty, Candlestick, or Ballroom because you didn't reveal anything.
Yes, I'm
satisfied.
Thank you very much, Moriarty.
Yeah, this game can get fairly logical at times if you're so inclined.
Yeah, I've currently got an additional note sheet going, scribbling down notes.
I'm using that little side panel on this to do it.
I'm trying to use a side panel, but I'm just it's like looking at the screen and then this.
I've got a notepad document up as well for my own notes.
7.
7, 4.
Where would you like to go?
Lucky 7.
Library, study, hall, lounge, or dining room?
Lounge about.
Sweet lounge.
So who shall I? Let's bring Scarlet in. Scarlet with rope in the lounge.
In the lounge.
The lounge.
A lot of guesses seem to be ending up on Vija's side of things at the minute.
Just a fair bit.
That's a 10.
Yes, I have a feeling I know
Let's get to the billard.
at least one of Vija's cards.
I'm sorry, what did you call that? The Billard?
The billiard room, isn't it?
Whatever.
Yes, it's billiard. Ah, yes, my grand games of social things done in the Billard.
Let's suggest Professor Plum with the wrench.
Wario with the wrench.
Wow.
As much as I would like his money, it was not a me, as far as I know. Certainly not with a wrench in the billiard room, it seems.
I still love the fact that this game actually allows you to accuse yourself of the murder.
Yeah.
I mean, potential, isn't it? Could have done it in a drunken stupor and not
You
remembered.
could, or you could have just found out that you are the killer by deduction.
What am I, Genocide Jack? Which only Ian probably going to get that reference.
Yes.
Maybe.
And any of our Dank and Romper fans, which is probably none of them.
So I am off to the conservatory. I'm going to say...
Dramatic thinking.
Dun dun dun.
For listeners at home,
So I am suggesting Moriarty with a revolver in the conservatory.
Oh,
The gun.
He's being dragged all around the place.
He is. Mario.
Interesting.
I think with 2 cycles round, I think now's a good time as any for us to start talking about what we've done over the past month or so.
I would agree with that. Who would like to start?
I can have a.
Well, I would if the game would let me.
You figured that
The game has a built-in timer that if I don't react fast enough, it takes my turn for me. So we will.
Maybe you can press escape to pause it or something.
I wouldn't risk it.
No.
I'm just wondering with the cog icon down the corner or something. I don't know.
I wonder how long you can wait before it forces something.
We'll try.
Mm.
So, yeah, I can start off for this one, seeing as I actually missed out last month due to scheduling conflicts. Yay, we're being busy. So yes, in terms of various things, there has been a little bit of hunting down of some new games, and picked up a very interesting one on the Switch actually. So we all are we're all sort of really good, and we sort of really know the werewolf game pretty well. Well, One Night Ultimate Werewolf and those kind of variations, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Some familiarity, yes.
So a game studio has actually taken that concept and put it into a single-player visual novel.
Visual novel.
I am intrigued.
Works surprisingly well. It's a game called Gnosia, Gnosia, and basically you sort of start the game being awoken from deep sleep in outer space, and basically you are told that an alien being known as a Gnosia is on board the ship and wants to kill all the humans on the ship. And the best way to do this is to put someone into deep freeze to see if anyone dies. If no one dies, congratulations, there are no Gnosia. If someone dies, bad luck, there's a Gnosia, and you have to do a whole round of debating to figure out who the person is. And it plays out like standard werewolf. So you have accusations flying around. You can sort of pal up with people. You can form alliances. You can target certain people you think are weak or not. And you've got standard roles. You've got the engineer role, who basically looks at someone during the night phase of each of each round, and tells if they are human or Gnosia. You've got a doctor who tells if someone who is frozen is human or Gnosia. You've got sympathizers, who are basically want the Gnosia to win, and would basically dummy off various roles and such to make that happen. You've got guardian angels who can protect people during the night phase to prevent them from being killed. And one I've read of but not encountered, which is the bug, is which if they are left alive at the end of the game, they win and no one else wins because they just destroy everything. And it's really interesting because it's standard werewolf logic, it's standard werewolf play, but all the characters remain the same throughout the games. And the games occur is what's called loops. So basically you loop through the same things again and again and again with the roles shuffled around and such, much like standard werewolf. But the thing is that the characterizations remain consistent. So you've got someone who has very high intuition and they know if someone's lying or not. And that remains consistent throughout all the games. So if they're sort of human, they can identify the flaws in the logic of the Gnosia. Then Gnosia, they can lie through their teeth and basically go, yeah, I'm human, trust me. Other people have high charisma scores, so they can sort of stand out a bit more. Some have higher stealth, so they can hide back a bit. It's all very interesting, and I believe there's a cast of 15 different people in the game, and it's all very interesting, and it just sort of builds upon builds and more builds. And there is an actual story linking everything together. For every time you complete a certain game with specific scenarios, such as if you win as a Gnosia or if you win as a human doctor, the next part of the story branches off and continues. And from what I've read, it carries on for a long, long time. And I just thought it was a really interesting concept, and I've so far been enjoying it quite a bit. It's nice to dip in and out of for a couple of sessions. It's not something you want to grind through continually, sort of day in, day out. It's nice to pick up and put down every day, every couple of days or so. It's a nice, simple thing. So, yeah, that's the big game I've picked up that's kind of more niche rather than other things. Something that is distinctly less niche, Final Fantasy. Thanks to the wonders of the PS Plus, I have Final Fantasy VII Remake.
FinFan, as I've often heard it be called.
Yes.
Advanced Moogle Simulator, I call it. But yeah, no, playing through 7 Remake, which I believe made it to the Game of the Year show that was done a while back for a few people, and I'm enjoying it more than I thought it was. So particularly at the starting point, where it's just a case of, I remember this from Final Fantasy VII. I remember this. Oh, crud. This is something completely unexpected. I was not expecting this.
I mean, to be fair, that whole area is kind of new with that unexpected thing in it, I think. You certainly don't play as much of it.
But it's interesting. It's going better than I thought it was going to go. So, yeah, picking and choosing that as and when. Aside from that, I think the only other thing is just diving into some new books as well, because I do enjoy my reading. one of which being somewhat coincidentally, given we're playing Cluedo, is the murder mystery from TV personality Richard Osman, aka the tall guy off Pointless. Pointless being a very popular game show over in the UK. And
Because I'm more known from QI than I do from Pointless.
so basically, tall, knowledgeable man has made murder mystery, and it has broken all sorts of records. And you can see why. It's basically a murder mystery, sort of typical English murder mystery. Your Agatha Christie's, your Poirot's, your Sherlock Holmes, Conan Doyle type thing, but set in a retirement village. And the main characters are all sort of retirees who just spend their time looking over cold cases, much like the old TV show New Tricks, if anyone remembers that from way back when.
What show?
New Tricks. Basically, retired cops do cold cases and try and solve stuff with hilarious consequences. And yeah, it's kind of like the version of that, but I'm enjoying it so far. So we'll see what happens and how the plot turns, and if it is indeed Reverend Green in the Conservatory with the wrench. By the way, that's not my action. I'm just giving a suggestion as to possibly what the major twist of the book is.
Spoilers.
It's not that, honestly.
And what's going to happen when you find out that it is that?
I will try and ask to see if that little bit can get redacted.
We'll see.
But yeah, no, some new games, some new side stuff, and yeah, just generally keeping myself busy through the months whilst the weather slowly gets better.
Less cold.
Whoa,
More light.
fresh air! Yay! I can actually open my window now without fear of
almost resettled
sleet
winter.
and wind and everything else blowing in. So yeah, that is that. So let's carry on with the game then, unless there's anything else anyone wants to chip in with that.
By the time this goes out, it's probably too late. But yeah, definitely get Final Fantasy VII while you can on the PS4. Although bear in mind that it does not upgrade to PS5, but
What?
kind of annoying. But thankfully, I have a copy I can upgrade. So.
Leaving the physical and the digital then? I thought they could.
No, they can, but if you have your copy free from the PSN, you can't upgrade it.
No, so if you bought it, you get it, but if you get it free, no.
Yeah, they've done that with
boo.
a couple of things. Call of Duty was another one they did that with.
That's fair.
It's
Yeah.
fair, yeah,
Understandable. It's like, yeah, we're not giving you the free upgrade if you got it.
yeah,
Free in
true,
the first
true.
place.
So
Well,
who knows? Who knows?
At least when the PS5 version comes out, you got a new character to play with.
Well,
First-
no, because you have to pay for that expansion, regardless of whether you upgrade or not.
I mean, true, but still, that's something to look forward to.
Ah, yes.
Well, my copy's
Everyone
currently
loves
out on the
Ninja
way.
Girl.
where are you off to, Colonel Mustard?
So, after all of that waffling, I would have gone to the library after our discussion about books, but I think we're going to go to the hall instead.
To the hall.
To the hall, and I'm going to pick white with the candlestick in the hall.
Dragging me around.
Oh, White. What do you have to say for yourself?
It wasn't me.
The dog
How
did
do you
it.
know that?
It was the dog. Blame the
Unfortunately, the dog is part of your character, so if the dog kills someone, you killed them as well.
By association.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfair, I'm not going to lie.
Just a little bit.
Okay. Do I roll? So, since this seems to be working so well, I'm just going to keep going round
Round,
each
round,
room
round.
as long as I can. Who do I want to suggest?
I don't know, who do you want to suggest?
Miss Scarlet with the candlestick in the conservatory.
Candlestick's making another appearance.
Merci beaucoup, Miss White. Or Mrs. White, I'm not entirely sure if you're married to your dog or
I
not.
don't know either.
I mean, I'd hope you'd know if you were married to your dog.
I would just roll the dice. I'm trying to do my sheet.
No,
Yeah, the app is a little fiddly.
just a little bit.
The
It's
diagram.
workable.
It serves its purpose. I'm not having much problems with it, but yeah, I can
Okay.
certainly see where there's a little bit of disconnect.
Yeah, it's just going to be a bit light on the touch occasionally.
Where are we in the dining room, good lady?
Maybe it was me in the dining room.
You? In the...
Ooh, interesting.
Mm.
Okay.
I'm gonna need a bigger notepad.
Now, that was certainly what I think it means, right?
If you too would want to help towards Feature's notepad fund, please send a stamped addressed envelope to.
To LMC PO box somewhere.
Let's go to the conservatory.
Send him a tree.
There's quite a few of us in the conservatory at the moment.
You know what? Look, go with... I suggest it might be Colonel Mustard with the wrench in the conservatory.
Actually, seems to be true.
Most interesting.
So yes, I had a card, but Feature did not. So it's an extra little bit of information for Ein there.
Sorry, what weapon was it that you wanted to know, Hein?
Uh,
Do you not remember?
I checked the wrench idea because we've not had much to
Okay.
check on the wrench. Everything else been checked quite a few times.
Ooh.
I'm going to play some billiards, and
Are you going to suggest yourself with the wrench, sir?
I am going to suggest Mr. Plum with the revolver in the billiard room.
The one disappointing thing about this game, sort of the main disappointment I have with the game, is that they don't have a board based on the movie. No, they don't. I would have loved to have been able to run around the mansion as the characters from the Clue movie and Tim Curry.
I was going to say, you just want to be Tim Curry.
Tim Curry!
Doesn't everyone?
Would be nice.
Would be, yeah.
You know what? Everyone's doing it. Let's go to the conservatory. And I think it's green in the conservatory with the candlestick.
All the way round.
All the way around.
All the way round.
And what card has Vija given me? An interesting one.
Oh boy.
And it is now Urtheart's turn.
Yar. I mean, wah.
Wah.
Wah. It's time for Waplum to go. Oh, that is a terrible
Ah,
roll.
too bad.
Go to the
I'm
conservatory,
gonna have to-
everyone's there.
I'm going back to the conservatory, and I'm going to do exactly the same. I want to see what the Emperor has in his hand. Aha. Thank you for that very valuable information.
Mm-hmm.
It is my turn. Where?
Up, oh sure.
7.
Can
Where
I
are we
get-
going?
I can't go to the conservatory. Damn.
Oh,
You can go to the ballroom.
Let's go to the kitchen. Fancy snack.
Oh, no.
it's just kitchen.
You know, we've not been in the kitchen, I think, have we?
No.
Yeah, no, I've been in the kitchen once.
Have we?
Yeah.
If that was my first turn, as I went to the kitchen. Because why are you hungry?
Scarlet with the dagger.
Dagger. I mean, dagger's like a knife.
And now it's Moriarty.
Let's just find out where we're going.
Many places, but you have choices.
Let's go back this way. Who wants to play some ball?
I'm afraid snooker's more my sport, old chap.
And honestly, I would love it if just the remainder of this game is just everyone shuttling between these two rooms.
You know what? go Plum. Do you have the wrench here, sir?
With a wrench in the billiard room.
Oh, most intriguing.
So yeah, so that was me with the card.
Sadly, it does not give me much information.
It doesn't give me much either. I'm looking
Well,
at
it gives you something that it definitely is not, at least.
That is true. That is true.
It's true.
I have a feeling this is going to end up much like every other single game of Cluedo, in which we're just basically running around the board trying to figure out where the heck the murder took place.
Unfortunately, that's the biggest category, so...
Yeah, there's 9 categories for location, there's 6 categories for weapon, and there's 6 categories for people.
Staying there, are you?
I mean, I tell you this, I've got solid leads on 2 people, but that's like a third of their possibles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not looking swell.
Oh, you're dragging me from the kitchen.
So I'm
finish making
thinking
a
it's
sandwich.
Miss White with the candlestick in the conservatory.
Okay.
Okay.
The candlestick seems to be the one a lot of people are guessing.
And that is certainly interesting, isn't it?
Oh, that certainly changed my considerations a bit. I thought I was.
Mustard.
I think with it being back round to my turn, I think it's about time for someone else to chat about stuff. So So, going round the game board, Urtheart.
Fair enough. So unfortunately, gaming has been a little bit on the sparse side for me, kind of. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, but that's more been because of I got a few days free, and I've gone on to a bit of a binge of getting a few stuff done while there is a special promotion, and I can get items that I would not normally be able to get. I will say that the newest dungeon is very interesting. I started healing it, and then I had a very interesting crash course in tanking it, where, I was hoping not to be the main tank of the raid, and our other tanks were terrible, so I ended up main tanking it. So that was fun. I guess one of the big ones that one game I've replayed recently and just finished the base story of is Ratchet and Clank for the PS4. So this was given away for free to anyone on PlayStation. You didn't have to have PS Plus. And this was part of Sony going, look, loads of people are in lockdown. Let's give you a reason to stay indoors and have fun. Everyone gets Ratchet and Clank for free. Now, Ratchet and Clank 2016, I think it's generally considered, is a very interesting game because it's a remake of the first game, but it's a non-canonical remake told from the perspective of kind of one of the game's bad guys. It's kind of obvious because the game starts with a cutscene of a person in jail telling you the story. So, and he's a fairly big character in the series, so it's an interesting throwback. Mechanically, the game is definitely one of the best in the series. It's the Ratchet and Clank series after the first one are primarily third-person shooters with some platforming elements and slight puzzles in them. The big notable feature is all the different types of guns you get. You start with some fairly basic stuff. You start with a small pistol and a couple of grenades that you can throw. This inventory eventually expands into some cool weapons, like really good flamethrower, some big homing rocket launchers, and stuff like that. And the more bizarre weapons, such as the Pixelator, which is essentially the game's shotgun. But yeah, if you shoot enemies with it, it makes them pixelated, which is a bit weird in a 3D space. There is the fan favorite of Mr. Zurkon, a talking, floating robot who he's not particularly thrilled to be working with you, but as long as you let him murder stuff, he's kind of happy. He has some very good quotes. I'm struggling to think of any off the top of my head.
Mr. Zurkon is happy that you mentioned him in this review.
True. He's also happy that he gets to kill slimy aliens. I think one of my favorite ones is like, Mr. Zurkon will let you live. Psych! Mr. Zurkon only lives to kill. He also insults you as well quite regularly. It's like, why does measly furball need health? Mr. Zurkon is invincible. Bolts? You waste my time with bolts? Yeah, Mr. Zurkon's one of the best weapons. But arguably the favorite weapon is the ever popular Rip You a New One, shortened to Rhino, which is easier to get in this game than it is in most games, so it's kind of nice. It's a very good remake mechanically. Story-wise, though, it changes things up quite dramatically and alters the tone of the story, which is a bit weird. Now, a lot of people don't like the original tone of the story, but this one was specifically made to tie in with a movie they were doing, so it's become very family-friendly and all about, the bond of friendship, etc. It's still a very good game. Obviously, again, by the time this has gone out, it's probably not free anymore, but it's definitely still worth a purchase because every other Ratchet and Clank game is on a system that isn't easy to get it on now because everything beforehand was on PS3. But I definitely wanted to get into it because the new Ratchet and Clank for PS5 comes out in June or July, one of the two, I don't remember. And I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's Rifts Apart, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so we still don't know the female Lombax's name, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. So Insomniac have actually given a big hint as to what it is.
Or have they?
Yes, I believe it's got something to do with a flower. So.
Well, that narrows it down.
I mean, considering how many names there are in the language, English language.
I guess that infamous video game character Persimmon.
So yeah, and really, other than that, actually no, there is one other game I've been playing that's in early access, and I can't remember if I mentioned it last time, but that's 30XX.
Yeah, you mentioned it last time.
I think I remember you talking about this.
You mentioned it last time, yeah.
Yeah, they've had a major update on that one. There's a few new bosses added, but I've mostly been playing it co-op with an American friend, and it's a little bit janky in co-op. I occasionally get locked out of mini boss rooms, which is fine because it means I can kill them from outside the room, but it creates some complications and yeah, some weird stuff. It's still fun, but it's still in early access, so let's see how they. And that's pretty much it for me on the game side. But interestingly, this month I have finally watched a movie.
My God.
It's the Ratchet and Clank movie, isn't it?
No, I still didn't buy that, even though it was only £2.
Oh no.
Because I couldn't get it. I couldn't find anything else I wanted to buy to make it free delivery.
Don't you just hate that?
But actually, what I did was I rewatched a movie that I don't think I managed to stay awake for the last time.
Lord of the Rings?
No.
I mean, I'd be fair to say you didn't watch the for that one.
The Pianist?
I mean, I'll be really impressed if any of you get this.
Narnia.
Star Trek First Contact?
It is an anime that a friend of mine gifted to me, so I did try and watch it and then couldn't. Back when they first gave it to me, I was in a I was in a shared house, so I was watching it from bed, which probably doesn't help.
It's not one of the Evangelions, is it?
No, it is called The Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
Oh, I've heard of
I've heard of that one.
So, the general synopsis is you follow a girl called Makoto. She just through her school life in general, and she has a bit of a weird thing where she discovers that she can quite literally leap backwards through time. She first discovers this almost getting killed because that's when your latent powers tend to come up. But yeah, ever since then, she literally can. She takes a running jump. She will somehow go backwards through time. She can kind of control it. Although, admittedly, when she lands, she always smashes her head into something, I think. And, it follows her kind of discovering she has this power, learning to use it, and then somewhat abusing it as a 17-year-old kid probably would do. Especially going into kind of social interactions she's not comfortable with, or doing what she thinks is best for her friends, stuff like that. I'll be honest, I don't remember much of the middle of the movie because I kind of drift off a little bit. But the end of the movie had some really nice work to it. I don't want to spoil it, but she eventually finds out that there is a limit to how much she can do this time traveling, and there are consequences. There are like butterfly effects to the stuff she does, and stuff starts happening she doesn't want to happen, and eventually there is a problem where is she going to lose her friends? The ending was definitely worth watching it for, and I did enjoy it. It was a movie I kind of watched while I was recovering from a bit of a sickness, so it was a nice feel good movie to watch. It wouldn't have been something I don't think I would have normally picked up. So very much thank you to my work colleague for gifting this to me. But if you get a chance, I would say it's worth a watch. I will say the copy I've got seems to be. I'm not entirely sure it's legit or not. The intro the intro kind of startup credits were a very, very fuzzy quality. The movie itself was fine, but I think that helps that it's quite a simple anime art style. But yeah, no, it was an interesting thing. It's definitely outside of my comfort zone, so I'm quite glad I watched it, and it was something I really wanted to sit down and give a proper go. So yeah,
Awesome.
I might look up some of the other stuff done by the animators for this one, but probably not for a little while.
We now know what to get you for your birthday and Christmases.
Oh, trust me, I have a lot to go through already. I've got the entirety of Samurai Jack.
Oh, yeah.
I've got High School of the Dead, which I bought with you in Birmingham about 4 years ago, I think now.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yep, still not taken out of the cellophane yet. I've also got
near mint.
Yep, I've also got Helsing to go through as well. So I think I've got enough to keep me busy.
Not bad at all.
So with that, we should continue.
Yes, we'll do another round and see where that brings us.